when something happens, choose silence before reacting. There's a way to use your privilege for good and not just for self-entitlement. So talking about this photo, starting from this end, this is my grandma. Her name is Rose Christine Jawitre. Oh, I was about to forget her last name. And that's my daughter, Anais Kali Shenyo Oneko. And that's my mom, Caroline Victoria Jawitre. The relationship to me is grandma, daughter, mother. It's the only photo I have of the three of them in one. I had wanted, when I had Anais during the pandemic, my grandmother asked me to go visit her for the December holidays. That was about, I think, in 2022 now, so 2019 when she was just born. And I had curated this whole, you know when Vogue comes to Africa and they take these nice African set on mudstone. My grandma has a modern house, but in the back she has her jiko house where she cooks all her food. So I'd imagined like the I don't know what this, you know those houses where you cook in, the sand, brown sand, and I'd imagined like they would be wearing kitenges, all three of them, and I would take like a generational picture of the four of us. So grandmom, me, and my daughter. And it didn't happen because at that time we were trying to build a house for her and my mom was constantly going to see the plot of land and coming, so we didn't get to do it. So I was like, the next time I see her, I'd like to capture a moment. My gran had been visiting us for a while because she's been sick, or rather she was getting like headaches and couldn't see very well. And so we were like, okay, she needs to come to Nairobi for good treatment. So she was with us at this point, I think for 4 months, because she just left. This was very, very recent. And I had gone out the night before and my gran said she'd take care of Anais. And the next morning when she was leaving for one of her appointments, I just quickly snapped it and she was like, oh, you take so many pictures. And Anais was just like, I don't want mommy to go. And my mom posed for it, which she never does. And I call her a woman because this girl, she's a fireball. My gran at this point had done everything from going to a neurologist to seeing an optician to getting her teeth checked because we thought it was like a nerve issue. She's born on my birthday, 8/8/48. I'm born 8/8/88. And we wanted her to be born 8/8/2019, but she came on the 1st, a week before my due date. And at this point, she was feeling confident that she could go back to the village. So for me, it's a sign of health, a sign of like she's going to be here for a long time. She's been a very good pillar for me. I come from a family of a lot of women. So my grandmother, my mom, her sister, and then I have 4 sisters. And we are always in each other's business, but she always comes in my defense. She understands me. And being understood and feeling safe, especially in your feelings, is very important to me. So when she was telling me, oh, Atieno, I feel so good. Thank you for helping and coming. And yesterday I spent time with your baby, just me and her, even though you were going out. She just gets me. And this happened when I visited the last time. I'd been going through a really tough time. I'd gone through a divorce, I'd gone through a separation, separated from my son as well because of COVID and everything that was happening. And I'd refused to go home for the longest time. And she made a request and anything she says, I jump. And so she really protected me on that trip. It was all of us, it was the whole family. And she was like, I love you, you're such a hard worker, you're the one who's waking up early, sweeping the chicken coop for me even though you hate the chicken. Like she appreciates that regardless of how I feel, I do try my best to take care of her And she feels like I do the same with my family. They just don't appreciate that aspect of me. My gran is the matriarch. She's the person in the village who everyone is coming to for prayers and for advice. And you know, when she was growing up, she was known to be like the really tough lady, like the iron lady, you know. And now she's still the iron lady, but I get that. I need that kind of, you know, tough love, and she gives it to me and a lot of people around her. But it just comes from obviously a good place. Honestly, and I'm sorry, Beck. I'm so sorry, Beck, if you ever see this. You're my special baby, but Anais is the love of my life. I don't know, having a daughter, whether you're a man or a woman, it just does something to you. I'm so protective of her, and then she's so much like me. So I feel like me being a mother to her is just so easy. I don't have the relationship I have with her with my mom, because my mom has 5 kids, different circumstances. I'm the middle child, not so much attention, so I'm always fighting for attention, like always doing things for attention, like, Mommy, come on, see me, I'm doing this. I mean, I'm the one who's graduated from school. What are they doing? And I'm sorry to all of you if you see this, but then I try so hard with my mom. I try so hard, and we're not there. We haven't reached our level of communicating, and I've learned to take 24, 48 hours or even a month, if so, when something happens, to be able to understand what my emotions are. I really wish I had the calmness that she has. I think that's what's our biggest thing. Like, she's just calm and I'm just reactive, and learning that sense of calmness is what I've learned from my mom. Very prayerful. People will come to my mom to be listened to be advised, but I feel like it takes a toll on her because no one does that for her. And that's what I've been trying to do. It just never ends well. It becomes a struggle. And her role in life is making my life expensive, very expensive, but I wouldn't do anything different. One of my biggest aspirations is to be a married woman, a family woman. You know, the woman who everyone comes to, and we have Sunday dinners and there's kids running around, and I have a husband who comes and kisses me on the cheek, and it's just like, today I worked really hard. Did you work hard as well, you know? And so I love family, and I aspire to just be that pillar like she is. And we had a conversation where I was like, how come you don't take your wedding ring off? You know, as much as Grandpa has been dead since I was even born, like 30 plus years. And she's like, because that was my best friend. I'm like, have you ever dated your best friend? And I was like, no, I just go. And she's like, yeah, you just go. You need to be able to find out who that person is, whether you're in the relationship or not in the relationship, whether you fight or whatever, that needs to be the person you sleep next to, regardless of whatever it is. And then my daughter has taught me. Like, she sees my flaws. I think out of all of everyone, my kids, my son Beck and Anais, are the ones who see me at my rawest, when I'm crying, when I'm upset, even in the tummy. You know, kids, we forget that kids feel that energy when they're inside. And like yesterday night, I was so tired. We had just moved, and she could see that I was really tired, and she just came, held my hand, and wanted to just lie down. And she was like, come. And I'm like, what, Anais? I just want to get some food. Come, Mama. And she pushed me like on the floor, like, lie down. And we just looked at the roof. And she was like, feel nice? Nice, right? Okay, relax. And so all three have different aspects in me, but always good. I feel like just good energy. And when bad energy comes in, I've learned to be a kid like her. Like, we go run around and splash on water. I've learned how to help the child in me so that I'm not, because a lot of everything that I go through is based on possibly abandonment and how I felt as a child, and now as an adult it comes out and it's so visible and you can't really help it. The reason I'm not in this picture is I'm the photographer, videographer, film person of the family. So I always have pictures and film and all of that. My grandfather, her late husband, was also into film. He was a big journalist in Mombasa, very well known. I think he worked for The Standard, if I'm not wrong. And then my own grandfather from my paternal side was Achieng Oneko, worked a lot with like the media because he was the minister of the MP for Information and Media, I think it was called at that time. So then I'm not in this picture because I'm the one who's always documenting everything. Family is everything. Create your boundaries around family, because your family could also be your fake friends. So the importance of this image is that if God forbid she does leave this earth, which I don't think people leave this earth, they just transcend to the next one. It's something I could be able to show a nice, like, oh, this moment was amazing for me and I felt really good in this moment.